right, well, Coach Gush, I guess I haven't been able to ask you this since you've gotten here, but what's it been like getting used to just being in Lake Charles and coaching in McNeese since you've gotten here?
You know, I've enjoyed my time here. I think it's a great place to live. I've had the opportunity to move, different places across the country, and I'm a football coach. It's what I love to do, and I've been, different places. But I'm hoping this is gonna be one of my favorites ever.
You inherited a defense that, a lot of talent. Just when you first looked at the roster, what did you think? And then, in the months that you've had now, just what do you think about this defense that you have on paper?
Well, the first thing that I looked at was, I was really scared about the linebacker spot. I mean, the cover was bare there. And then, excited about the guys coming back on defensive line. I watched a little bit of tape. When I go in, I just watch a little bit. I don't want to get preconceived notions about any players and all that type of thing. But the little bit of tape that I did watch from last year, we got some guys that play hard, that are athletic, that I can tell love playing football. In the back end, we got some top level guys. We've got to be able to create some depth in those positions, and that was my initial impressions.
Okay, you mentioned the linebackers, and you brought in two guys that were with you. Just how big was that as far as those guys knowing the system? Do they know what you want to call? They know everything. Just how big was that?
I think it eased the transition in the spring. Because they have an idea of how to call fronts and coverages and strength calls and that type of thing. So I think it moved up the learning curve a little bit. But they're getting acclimated to a new surroundings and that type of thing. But I'm excited to have those guys with me.
I know you have experience being a defensive coordinator before, so it's not your first time. But just, I guess, what have been the challenges for you here that you may not have experienced even, Navarro or, Baylor or places previous?
I don't think there's anything major difference when a new staff comes in. I think it's a learning curve, and it's a trust building. I quickly told the guys that the guys are going to get on the field, the guys I trust. It's not going to be dependent on ability or anything like that. Is that when you walk on the field, I'm going to put 11 guys out there that I really believe they're going to do the things we coach them to do. And so from that point, that's the philosophy.
When it comes to this, the offense that you guys face on a daily basis in practice, I know last year that was what the type of offense that gave McNeese a lot of trouble. How big of an advantage is it to go up against this type of offense every day during practice?
It's an advantage as time goes on. We practice just like the way we did at Baylor with Coach Briles. It's difficult to put in a defense with the tempo that we're going and guys standing behind and all that type of thing. So it kind of pushes the learning curve a little bit behind, what it would be. But you got to look at the pluses on that, and I had experience with it, so we were able to work through that process. I think that the game's changed. What offenses do, kind of like the Coach Gilbert scheme, is widen you from sideline to sideline and make you make plays in space. And you got to have athletic players. The tempo is an issue. I think that really in tempo, what they're trying to do, they have a certain set of plays, and they try to get you misaligned. So you've got to be able to get your calls in quickly. You've got to be able to. You've got an extra element in the game too, where they can go tempo when they don't change personnel groups. So we got to do a good job on the sideline when they change the personnel group, and we have enough depth on the defensive line. We're gonna sub, jog a guy out there, and slow them down to allow us to be a little bit more effective on defense. So that's an extra layer that's added into it. And I think also, the one thing that you're going to get more play, you're going to have to play more plays. So where the average fan might look and say, oh, well, they gave up 350 yards, but if you look at yards per carry and number of explosive plays and that type of thing, so I think that it's changed a little bit. Even scoring. If you score 50 and give up 21, I think that's pretty good.
Yeah.
We don't want to give up a point, whenever, but we look at getting 3 and outs, all right, eliminating explosive plays, playing great in the red zone, and our guys that are on defense, play outstanding in special teams.
You mentioned going up against, or dealing with this tempo. Everybody's been very complimentary of the conditioning that the kids went through over the summer. How big is how good was that, and do you see the benefits from it so far in practice?
I do. I think the guys really from the spring to the first day we went out in fall practice camp, I can see the difference, in their bodies and the number of plays they can play consecutively and those type of things. And I'm excited too about the support that we have in the community here that allows us to get them food. That at 1AA play schools, sometimes in the summer, those guys, they work out, they run, and they don't have a great nutrition program. And, you've got to put calories in your bodies and all that type of thing. And I think we've done a good job of doing that. And I appreciate the people that support us doing that.
You mentioned on the D line, do you have a number, or I know you say you're going to rotate? Do you 7, 8? Is there a number of linemen you want to know that you're going to go into a game with to rotate?
No, not necessarily. I mean, it goes back to the one thing that I talked about, the guys that I can trust, we can trust. And hopefully that's a big number. We're working on to grow that number at this point in time, but there's no specific number.
McNeese, it's the defense. It's been kind of just what McNeese has been known for years. Is it like when you look, I don't know if you read like stuff about the DWA. Do you, I guess, kind of embrace just how great the defenses have been here? And obviously, I know you want the defense here to replicate it this season. But have you seen read up on it, anything like that?
Yeah, I mean, I before you take any job, you just kind of do your research and study it. And that was a plus coming in here. I mean, I want to come into a place that has a chance to win. But bottom line and everything, the teams that, are known for one side of the ball or the other aren't usually the greatest teams. I want my defense to be, one of the best in the country. But number one, I want our team to win games, because that's what it's all about, and I think that, you build on your tradition, but you also try to cultivate that team mentality and do well in all three phases of the game.
And actually, you brought something up that I wanted to ask is, how do you do that? Like when it comes, I know obviously you're the defensive coordinator, so you're, I guess, more worried about the defense, but how do you kind of cultivate that level of competition, but also have that level of teamwork at the same time?
I think it's an understanding. I mean, when we line up 11 on 11, we're not necessarily teammates at that point in time. We're competitors.
Mm-hmm.
But as soon as the whistle blows or the practice is over, we got to rally our guys up and support each other and really, have each other's back. The great teams that I've been involved with, have always had that aspect to it. There's no division or anything like that. I think that's something a culture that you got to establish and grow. And I think that's what we're in the process of doing right now.